In a world searching for moral clarity, in a time when truth is often drowned out by noise, a new voice rises. From the ancient wellsprings of Torah wisdom to the urgent conversations of today, this is the 70 Nations Broadcast Network, a global platform uniting rabbis, rebbetzim, and Noahide leaders, bringing timeless truth, moral courage, and spiritual strength to every corner of the world. Here, families are strengthened, marriages are renewed, faith is awakened. Here, truth is not softened, it is spoken, boldly, clearly, without compromise. Across continents, across cultures, across all 70 nations, one message resounds: light over darkness, wisdom over confusion, purpose over despair. This is more than a network. This is a movement. Welcome to the voice of moral clarity. Welcome to the voice of unity.
Okay, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me this evening as we begin the fourth segment of Shabbos, the beauty of Shabbos. This is part of a series. The Shabbos series is part of a greater series, which is Jewish Spiritual Treasures for All People. Ideas, concepts, practices, values, and approaches to life that will be of wonderful benefit to all people that are looking for a meaningful life path. And we're talking about Shabbos. Shabbos is one of the foremost treasures. And we discussed already in the previous sessions how there's two aspects to Shabbos. There is the aspect of Shabbos that is a commandment, that is a task for all Jewish people to keep the Shabbos, which is basically to refrain from creative activity, to pause in our active endeavors, to recenter ourselves and to remember and to focus on the reasons that we engage in our endeavors, and also to testify to the world, that the world, to all people, that the world was created by a compassionate creator for a lofty purpose. But then there is the second aspect of Shabbos, the Zachar. There's the Shomer of Shabbos. That's for us, the Jewish people. Then there's the Zachar of Shabbos, which is to take to heart, to take to mind what Shabbos is trying to give over. And that is that the world has a creator. It was created, which means you have a creator. I have a creator. And not just a creator, a compassionate creator, a loving creator, a creator that invests us with meaning and purpose and create us to be his partners in bringing holiness in all that we do, no matter what our roles are, no matter how many facets there are to our life. Ultimately, the raison d'etre, the purpose of our life, is to make the world a kinder, holier, more joyful place, beginning with ourselves and then radiating out to all others. And on Shabbos, it's a window. It's an opportunity. A window is open, a window to our hearts, to our awareness, to our mind, to really, truly perceive this and internalize it. So we step back from life, not the way the Jewish people are commanded in that specific way, from refraining from creative activity as a form of testimony, but just as a practice to step back from life and reflect on the truths that are more easily accessible on the day of Shabbos. And that's for all people. That's a gift for all people. So, having said that, I'm going to share with you a meditation, a musical meditation, because as we talked last week and the week before, music is also a window. The right type of music also opens our heart. So we're going to share with you a meditation that was composed, sang by Rabbi Shlomo Kalbach. But with that being said, I perhaps will sing it with a little uniqueness, a little slight adaptations. And I hope that as I sing the song, you'll sing with me, internally, externally, and you'll see the power that it has. And you don't have to do exactly these words, but it's this idea to open your heart on the night, tomorrow night, or Shabbos, Saturday day. And actually, before I begin, I want to call your attention that President Trump, and I'm not here to get political, but I think regardless of what you might think of President Trump, he made a proclamation as the sitting president of the United States where he called on all the Jewish people to celebrate Shabbos, this particular Shabbos, as a tribute to the 250th anniversary of America's founding. And I want to add, if I may, with humility, just to add a little addendum, which is that you too, nations, nations of the world, human beings, fellow you brothers and sisters of our united humanity, you too are invited not to celebrate Shabbos the same, not to observe Shabbos as we do, because that's Hashem has restricted. And it's not because of some mystical reason. It's because every congregation has priests, it has clergy, and it has the congregants. And without that, there is no congregation. A congregation that has no priests, has no clergy, is no congregation. But a congregation that has only clergy is also no congregation. So the congregation that Hashem visualized and shared with us as one where the Jewish people are the messengers, are the priests, are the clergy, and you awaken nations, people that hear the message, whose souls and hearts are open. You are the congregants, and together we will make a universal Shabbos of joy. So let's join in all, and in truth, there's a lot to pay tribute to. America was a huge step forward for humanity. The ideals, the dedication, the wisdom, the paradigm shifting thought of the founding fathers to create a society that is much more just than what was around in those days, that is just, that affirms the dignity of the human being, the uniqueness of human expression. That's what America stands for. And of course, as Trump said, faith, family, and freedom. So join with me as in honor of this Shabbos as we approach the 250th anniversary of America, and in honor of what Shabbos stands for, a compassionate creator that is leading history, although it's not always apparent, although there's darkness, but is leading history to a united, bright future, and leading you in your life, although you may not always be able to perceive it. But on Shabbos you could, to a meaningful, bright future if you open your heart and allow yourself to be led. sing with me internally, externally, and perhaps do this yourself on the day of Shabbos or tomorrow night. Inspired by Shlomo Kabach. Can you see the horizon? Can you smell the evening air? Can you hear the birds? Can you feel the breeze? Can you sense? Can you perceive the world of the 6 days of the week, making way for the world of Shabbos? One more time. Can you see the trees? Can you feel the breeze? Smell the evening air? Can you hear the sounds? Can you sense? Can you perceive the world of the 6 days of the week? Truly is the world of Shabbos. Good 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 Shabbos. And before I finish, I just want to do that last part. What I think Shlomo Kabach is saying with those words, those hundreds of years old words in Yiddish, Good Shabbos, Good Shabbos. Sense the peace, feel loneliness, taste the blessing, experience the harmony again. Sense the peace, feel loneliness, taste the blessing, experience the harmony. That's what flows if you internalize the idea that nothing is random, as much as it may seem at times in that way on the surface. Your life is not random. History is not random. Everything is unfolding in God's time and in our time as we make effort, because every effort we make, every moment that we open our heart, that we turn towards that truth, we bring it closer. And if we can internalize that idea that there's a compassionate creator with a unique purpose for us, a holy, a spiritual one, a kind one, then we do sense the peace, experience the harmony, feel the holiness, and internally taste the blessing. One last time. It's Shabbos. It's Shabbos. It's Shabbos. It's Shabbos. Good Shabbos. It's Shabbos. It's Shabbos. Good Shabbos. All right, thank you so much for joining me for segment 4, and I will see you next week for segment 5.